Vitamin A is one of the major vitamins that exist naturally in foods. In this video, I want to talk about what vitamin A is, its roles in the body, and how to get enough of it, which means we will talk about vitamin A supplementation at the end of the video. Let's start by discussing what vitamin A is and why we need it. Vitamin A is an essential dietary nutrient, meaning we need to get it from food and cannot produce it ourselves. Even though it is often thought of as a single nutrient, it's really a group of compounds including retinol, retinal, and retinol esters. All of them are fat-soluble, meaning they are better absorbed when combined with fat, and they can also be stored in fat tissue in the body. In terms of your diet, the two main types of vitamin A are preformed vitamin A, which occurs exclusively in animal products such as dairy, liver, and fish, as well as provitamin A, which includes beta-carotene, which is found mostly in plant foods. The use of beta-carotene in the body is less efficient than preformed vitamin A because it has to undergo several conversions to become active. This is why the labeling of beta-carotene supplements as vitamin A is somewhat misleading. More on this at the end of the video. The RDA for vitamin A is 900 micrograms or 3000 international units for adult men, and 700 microgram or 2333 international units for adult women. Consuming too much vitamin A can become problematic over time because as a fat-soluble vitamin, it can accumulate. However, this shouldn't be an argument against eating quality whole foods, as vitamin A toxicity usually stems from excessive supplementation, not overeating on natural foods. Vitamin A has several different functions in the body. The main ones are 1. To maintain eye health. Vitamin A is essential for eye health and your vision. To see the full spectrum of light, your eye needs to produce certain pigments for your retina to work properly. Vitamin A deficiency stops the production of these pigments, leading to night blindness. Your eye also needs vitamin A to nourish other parts of your eye, including the cornea. Without enough vitamin A, your eyes cannot produce enough moisture to keep them properly lubricated. Next is immune function. Unlike vitamin C, which everyone knows is important for your immune system, most people underestimate vitamin A's importance for your body's defense system. For example, this includes the mucus barriers in your lungs, gut, and, like I mentioned before, on your eyes. This mucus helps trap bacteria and other infectious agents. You also need it for the production and function of white blood cells, which eliminate bacteria and other pathogens from your bloodstream. This just shows how a deficiency in vitamin A can increase your susceptibility to infections and will make it harder for your body to recover afterwards. And third is healthy growth. Like zinc, vitamin A ensures normal growth and development of embryos during pregnancy. In fact, both vitamin A and zinc appear to share many benefits and work well in combination. Besides aiding in proper growth and immune support, both ensure proper hormonal development. For example, animal studies have shown that a vitamin A deficiency blocks the development of sperm cells and can cause infertility. Similarly, studies with female animals have shown that a vitamin A deficiency can reduce egg quality and affect egg implantation in the womb. So in conclusion, the most important functions of vitamin A in the body are that it helps maintain eye health, that it supports your immune system, and that it aids in the proper growth and development of the body. Let's now talk about high vitamin A foods and its best sources. Like I said earlier in the video, the most usable source comes from animal foods. The highest foods here are liver, fish and cod liver oil, egg yolks, and grass-fed butter. Foods high in provitamin A, for example beta-carotene, include sweet potatoes, pumpkins, carrots, kale, and spinach. This brings me to vitamin A supplementation, which is a controversial topic. High doses of vitamin A supplements have been linked to toxicity and birth defects, which is why you will find a disclaimer on pretty much every vitamin A supplement warning you about this. Some sources even claim that too much whole food vitamin A can be problematic. However, when we look at populations such as the Inuit that regularly consume upward of 20,000 international units of vitamin A per day, in the form of seal meat for example, I believe this danger is somewhat exaggerated and usually related to excessive supplementation only. That said, even vitamin A supplements have their place. The reason for this is a functional vitamin A deficiency, which is fairly common. You see, people who rely on beta-carotene for the vitamin A intake often run into problems even if they consume enough of it. That's because the conversion of beta-carotene to active vitamin A is reliant on a strong thyroid as well as sufficient thyroxine levels, which is a thyroid hormone. So if your thyroid is underperforming and you don't eat enough vitamin A from animal sources, you can develop symptoms that are similar to a deficiency even when enough beta-carotene is in your system. Another cause for functional vitamin A deficiency is the inverse relationship between it and vitamin D. When one goes up, the other goes down. Nowadays, many people supplement high doses of vitamin D, which can create an imbalance between the two over time. This is just one of the many reasons I'm not a big fan of supplementing vitamin D in its isolated form. The last reason you want to make sure to get enough vitamin A and maybe even think about supplementing it is copper overload. Readily active and preformed vitamin A is necessary for the detox of biounavailable copper, which is such a huge problem in many people. This problem flies under the radar of so many practitioners because it isn't easy to detect. But it creates a host of metabolic dysfunctions from chronic fatigue to anxiety and hormonal problems. Fixing it requires a complete dietary and supplemental program, of which vitamin A is a big part. Okay, now that we're almost done with the video, if you decide to supplement, what type and which dose is best? I'm generally not a big fan of supplementing high doses of the fat-soluble vitamins simply because they can accumulate in the body over time. So my recommendation would be to go with 1 teaspoon of quality cod liver oil daily, which will cover your RDA of both preformed vitamin A as well as vitamin D without messing up the ratio between the two. Cod liver oil isn't technically a supplement, but because it's so concentrated, it really feels like one. If you don't want to take it and prefer a real supplement, take between 3,000 to maximum 10,000 IU of retinol palmitate, which appears to be safer than the other common supplemental form, retinol acetate.